How to make well-draining soil for snake plants. One of the best ways to keep a snake plant healthy is to give it the right soil. Snake plants don't like sitting in wet soil for long periods. Their roots need moisture, but they also need plenty of air. When soil holds too much water, the roots can become stressed and may eventually develop root rot. That's why a well-draining potting mix is so important. But what exactly makes soil well-draining? And how can you make a simple snake plant soil mix at home? In this video, we'll go through an easy method for making well-draining soil and explain how each ingredient helps your plant. Let's get started. 1. Start with quality potting soil. The first ingredient is a good quality potting soil. Potting soil provides the organic material that supports the roots and holds some moisture after watering. You don't want the soil to dry out immediately after you water. The goal is to keep enough moisture available for the plant while allowing excess water to escape. Choose a light indoor potting mix rather than heavy garden soil. Garden soil can become compacted inside a container and may not provide enough airflow around the roots. A quality potting mix gives you a good foundation for the rest of the recipe. Number 2. Add perlite for better drainage. The next ingredient is perlite. Perlite is lightweight and creates air spaces throughout the soil. These spaces help water move through the pot and allow oxygen to reach the roots. For a simple starting mix, you can use approximately 2 parts potting soil and 1 part perlite. Mix the ingredients thoroughly so the perlite is distributed throughout the soil. You don't need to follow the ratio perfectly. If your environment is very humid or the soil dries slowly, you can increase the amount of perlite slightly. Number 3. Pumice is another good option. If you don't have perlite, pumice is another excellent drainage material. Pumice is a porous volcanic material that creates air spaces and improves drainage. It is heavier than perlite, which can be helpful for tall snake plants that tend to become top-heavy. You can use pumice instead of perlite. There's no need to use both unless you already have them available. The purpose is the same: create a loose soil structure with better airflow and drainage. Number 4. Don't add too much moisture-retaining material. When making a well-draining mix, it's important not to overdo ingredients that hold water. Materials such as peat moss and coco coir can retain moisture. They aren't necessarily bad for snake plants, but too much can make the soil stay wet longer than you want. If your home is humid or your plant is growing in low light, this can become an even bigger problem. A snake plant generally benefits from a mix that dries reasonably well between waterings. 5. Avoid garden soil. It may be tempting to use soil from your garden to save money, but garden soil is usually not a good choice for snake plants grown in containers. It can be heavy and compact easily. When it becomes compacted, water and air have a harder time moving through the root zone. Instead, use a quality indoor potting mix as the base and improve its structure with perlite or pumice. This creates a much more suitable environment for container-grown snake plants. Number 6. Mix everything evenly. Once you have your ingredients, mix them thoroughly. You want the drainage material distributed throughout the potting soil rather than concentrated in one area. The finished mix should feel light and loose. When you squeeze a handful, it should hold together slightly, but should not feel like thick mud. You should also see plenty of small air spaces between the particles. This type of structure helps water move through the pot while keeping enough moisture around the roots. Number 7. Test the soil before planting. Before putting your snake plant into the new mix, test it. Place some soil in a small container with drainage holes. Pour water over it slowly. Watch how the water moves through the mix. It should absorb moisture while allowing excess water to drain relatively easily. If the water sits on the surface for a long time, the mix may be too dense. If water rushes through immediately and the soil becomes completely dry very quickly, the mix may be too coarse. You want balance. 8. The pot is just as important. Well-draining soil needs a pot that can actually drain. Always use a container with drainage holes at the bottom. If the pot has no drainage holes, even a very good soil mix may remain too wet. After watering, excess water should be able to leave the container freely. Also, choose a pot that is appropriately sized. A huge pot contains a large amount of soil, which can hold moisture for a long time. A properly sized pot helps the soil dry more naturally. 9. Adjust the mix for your environment. There isn't one perfect soil recipe for every snake plant. Your growing conditions matter. If you live in a humid environment or your home stays cool, the soil may dry slowly. In that case, you may want a more freely draining mix with a little more perlite or pumice. If your home is warm and dry and the plant receives bright light, the soil may dry faster. You may prefer slightly more organic material. The goal is not to copy someone else's exact recipe. The goal is to create a mix that works in your environment. Number 10. How to know your soil is working. After planting your snake plant, watch what happens after watering. The soil should become moist, but shouldn't stay saturated for many days. The plant should remain firm and healthy. You shouldn't constantly see yellow leaves, soft foliage, or other signs of excess moisture. If the soil remains wet for too long, improve the drainage. If it dries extremely quickly and the plant repeatedly shows signs of dehydration, you may need slightly more moisture retention. Your plant will give you useful clues. A simple recipe to remember. If you want the simplest possible recipe, start with 2 parts quality potting soil, 1 part perlite or pumice. Mix thoroughly and use it in a pot with drainage holes. That's enough for many indoor snake plants. You don't need a complicated list of ingredients. Good soil structure is more important than having a large number of materials. Final thoughts. Making well-draining soil for snake plants is actually quite simple. Start with a quality potting soil. Add perlite or pumice to improve drainage and airflow. Avoid heavy garden soil and don't use excessive amounts of moisture-retaining materials. Then place the mix into a pot with good drainage holes. Remember that the exact ratio can be adjusted depending on your environment. The most important goal is to create soil that holds enough moisture for the roots while allowing excess water to drain away. Snake plants are naturally drought tolerant, so they generally handle slightly dry soil better than constantly wet soil. With a loose, well-draining mix and a good watering routine, you can create a healthier environment for the roots and help your snake plant stay strong and beautiful. Thank you for watching Plants Every Day. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more simple indoor plant care tips. Be sure to explore our snake plant soil and pot care playlist for more easy guides on choosing the right soil, pot, and repotting methods for a healthy snake plant. See you in the next video. Happy growing!